How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be bringing you yesterday's breaking news, which is that PSG have been crowned champions in France. We're also going to be bringing you news from the Premier League, because apparently if players are returning to training they've got to wear face masks. And the last story involves Liverpool, because they're not happy at certain comments by the city's mayor.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is in France, and that was the news yesterday that PSG have been crowned champions. Now we knew a few days ago that all sport has been stopped in France till at least September. But very, very quickly the French football authorities have made their decision, and that's PSG are champions. Now they've given away their European places to the teams that are in those spots at the moment. And they've also relegated the sides that are in the relegation zone at present. And as you can expect, it's caused a lot of debate. And there's some people not happy. But Paris Saint-Germain have been awarded the Ligue 1 title after the season was ended amid the coronavirus pandemic. PSG, who have now won 7 French titles in the last 8 years, held a 12-point lead over second place Marseille when the season was suspended in March. The French Professional Football Association ratified the decision at a meeting on Thursday, 2 days after the French Prime Minister suspended sport in the country until at least September. A points per game system, taking into account the performance of clubs in the matches already played, was used to determine the final standings in the table. Marseille have qualified directly for the Champions League, while third place Rennes will enter via the qualifying rounds, with Toulouse and Amiens the relegated sides. 7th place Lyon, who have missed out on a European place, said they would possibly appeal against the decision to end the season. Lyon were just 1 point behind 6th place Nice, who have qualified for the Europa League with 10 matches still to play. Lyon reserved the right to appeal against that decision and claims damages, in particular in respect of loss of opportunity and in light of case law of other professional sports which are currently underway. Since the damage of the club amounts to several tens of millions of euros, they said in a statement. We proposed as early as Tuesday that the league study an alternative solution that would allow the championship to end and thus preserve the fairness inherent in any sporting competition and be in line with UEFA's proposals based on sporting merit according to the objective, transparent and non-discriminatory principles. So look, this is a big decision, and already teams like Lyon are not happy. 1 point behind. Could they have got European football? Of course they could. 10 games to go. And you're basically saying, no, sorry, you're not going to get that. And it's going to mean they will lose millions and millions of pounds. Now you look at this as well. Lorient, who led Lens by just 1 point in the second division. They have been crowned champions. Now can you imagine how Lens must feel? Only a point behind. This is not like the PSG scenario, or maybe even Liverpool, where a team is miles ahead at the top. There's 1 point. You've worked so hard all season. And then this happens. And no doubt we're not going to hear the end of this. And no doubt there's going to be some appeals. But I don't know what they're going to do. If the government in France have said we're not going to be playing any sport in any way, shape or form until September at a minimum, then what can you do? Because you're not going to, postpone the start of the following season just to finish this one. They would have made that decision already if that was, an option that they were looking at. They have made that decision. This season is done. And they're going to give out the places based on where you are at present. And there's going to be people that like it, and there's going to be people that don't like it. And this is one of the first major European leagues to do this, not just in terms of suspending the season, but awarding, titles, relegation, etc., etc. Absolutely crazy. And we will no doubt hear a lot more about this in the coming days and weeks. Next story. And I can't actually believe that I've seen this story. and that is actually true. But Premier League players will have to cover their faces as part of new rules to allow a safe return to full training. A document setting out Project Restart will be discussed at a Premier League meeting, which is today, by the way, as initially reported in the local press. Proposals have been drafted by Premier League Director of Football Richard Garlick, but a return to training will only happen with the agreement of the government. Plans include testing all players and officials 48 hours before returning to training, and they will also be tested for potential respiratory problems associated with coronavirus. The proposals include all footballs, global positioning systems, units, cones, corner flags, goalposts and other equipment will be disinfected before and after use by staff wearing personal protective equipment. Players to wear snoods, masks at all times. Cars to be parked 3 spaces apart. No massages unless approved by a club doctor. Fluids to be left at designated pickup points. Only visit training blocks to use toilet. Initially, only 5 players per group are allowed to train. Players to be given designated time slots and 15 minutes to prepare. 75 minutes of small group training. 15 minutes of recovery. Players and staff will be banned from spitting at the training grounds. Seriously, come on, man. I'm looking at this story and you're saying that players have got to train with masks on. A lot of players wear snoods. We understand that in cold weather. But we're not exactly in cold weather at the moment, are we? We're about to hit summer. And you're asking players to run around a training field with masks on. I'm sorry, but if it's not safe to not wear a mask, why are you making this decision? Why are you trying to bring football back? If it's not safe, the fact that you're telling players to wear masks means that it's not safe. So why? Why? Honestly, simply give me one logical reason apart from money as to why. What's the next step? That you're going to play Premier League matches where they've got to wear masks as well? Come on. No tackling. Everyone's got to be 2 meters apart at the corners. Come on, man. Seriously. Have a look at this. It's absolutely ridiculous. Some of these things that I see there. You know, players and staff will be banned from spitting at the training ground. Now, as disgusting as that may sound, when you're playing sport and everything else, you get a dry mouth or you might take a sip of liquid and whatnot. The natural thing is to spit out on the floor. Old habits die young. How many players will go to spit out and then realise and start dribbling all down themselves? It's like, come on. Seriously, I understand the caution, but you've got to wear masks to train. Really? Come on. Seriously, if it's not safe to do it, then why are they doing it? I really, honestly do not get it. And I want, like I said, a logical reason apart from money, because that's just a crazy idea as far as I'm concerned. Next piece of news involves Liverpool. Liverpool have said they are disappointed by comments made by the city's mayor over the potential restart of the Premier League season. Premier League clubs remain determined to finish the current campaign. And of course, they're going to be doing this Project Restart meeting today and whatnot. And it would, of course, see games being played behind closed doors only at approved venues. But in an interview with BBC Sport on Thursday, Liverpool Mayor Joe Anderson said the project was a non-starter, fearing a farcical situation with fans congregating outside Anfield even if Liverpool win the title at a neutral venue. Liverpool closing on in their first title for 30 years with a 25-point lead with 9 games remaining, called the mayor's comments disappointing, adding there was a lack of evidence to support such claims. The club said they are in regular contact with Anderson over the possibility of playing behind closed doors, something which the mayor has since told Sky Sports News and denies. A Liverpool statement said, "We would also point to recent discussions with Mayor Anderson relating to the possibility of behind the closed doors games which included the important that key stakeholders across the city continue to engage and work collaboratively. But of course, he's dismissed that and said they're actually not in communication with him. And I actually agree with the mayor with one part here, because what's to stop Liverpool fans all going out on the street and celebrating? You know, if this was Arsenal, I would probably feel the same, to be quite honest with you. And, you know, the Liverpool fans all live within close proximity of Anfield, in, you know, that area. And, you know, the moment they actually win that title and it's mathematically done, no matter where the game is, could be at, you know, Man City's training complex, could be at St George's Park, wherever it is, the likelihood is that the fans will flood out onto the streets to celebrate. What do? So I can understand his concerns in that respect. But it looks like Liverpool and the mayor of Liverpool are not really seeing eye to eye. Maybe the mayor is actually an Evertonian, and that's why he doesn't want football playing and he doesn't want to see Liverpool lifting that title. But look, in all seriousness, we just don't know at the moment. And no doubt we'll find out more in due course. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I'll see you lot soon. I'm out of here.